Welcome back to Pawplexity, a podcast about how living with dogs keeps rewriting the way we live, we think, and we try to figure things out. One German.
One Brit.
And one American.
3 very different dogs, and 3 lives forever changed by them. We met on the Isle of Dogs in London, and we kept talking ever since about behavior, about instincts, heartbreak, hilarity, and all the beautiful chaos that comes with sharing a life with a dog. I'm Annika, and today we're talking about something surprisingly emotional, the instructions we leave for our pet sitter. Our list, the notes, the spreadsheets, and the moment when you realize you've written a full essay just to cover a weekend away. That is definitely me. So Bruce and Bren are here with me today to share what they pack into these documents for their pet sitters. Because the instructions we give our pet sitters say much more about us than they do about our dogs. Hi Bruce, hi Ben.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining.
So let's talk about these notes and instructions. For Makenzie, I could pass on a full lights ordner with information, but as she refuses to stay with even the people she adores for more than 3 hours, luckily no one has to work through all of these documents. How about you? Do you write notes for your pet sitters?
I've got a few instructions. Don't write too many notes, to be honest. On that note, I just got to open the door because Bowie's scratching to get in.
Ben, Bruce, how about your notes? So you have 3 different sets, I assume, by now?
Yes. So, we have now that we haven't had a pet sitter since Max became a member of the family. But we have notes, extensive notes for Judge and Nipsey. I used a pet sitter once with Nipsey, but a bunch of times in London with Judge. And it was I think there was 9 steps on there and, pretty extensive. I think she was a little overwhelmed at first.
Do you remember the 9 steps?
It was mostly it was regarding food, like when to feed him, how much to give. I used to make him chicken or beef, one or the other, as a topper. Now he's on a different food, so that won't be so much of a problem nowadays. And the other stuff was just reminding the one issue that he has, and anyone out there who's good with training dogs, I would love your help because he has possession aggression. So that's the one thing. So I had to I wrote down a million times, don't leave stuff out. Even on your end table next to the bed, don't leave anything there because he's going to get it and you're not going to get it away from him unless you have something he really, really wants. And then also his going out schedule, things like that, treats that he could have, blah, blah, blah.
That sounds pretty normal to me.
It was pretty normal, but I think the possession aggression part worried her a little bit at first.
Yeah, that needs to be managed in a good way so that he doesn't get into that situation where things get difficult, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah.
So for Ben, who worked in a proper dog daycare, you've experienced the other side of the pet sitter notes. So what was the weirdest thing that you ever received as a note or instruction?
I know it straight away. I had to pick this dog up maybe 3 days a week. Her name was Justice. She was this tiny, tiny little, I can't remember what breed of dog she was. But I used to go into the apartment. There used to be a baby gate in between me and the main apartment lounge. And there used to be a towel left over the baby gate. So Justice always used to be hiding under the table. The instructions were, get the towel, throw it over Justice, pick Justice up, because she'll try and bite you.
Oh.
And then
the little dogs.
Once you've got Justice and she's in your arms, she's absolutely fine. It's the fact that you're in her space and she doesn't want to leave that space. But once she's out, she's absolutely fine. It's that initial getting her out of the apartment. And then she just used to sit on my lap the whole time, the rest of the ride. And she was very relaxed at daycare. It's just literally once you go into her apartment and then drop her off again, you put her back. I used to go back with her, put her over the baby gate. She used to just turn around and launch straight away. Oh, it's that space in the apartment. There was a There was Titus, who was a cane corso, big boy.
Oh yeah, big boy.
And yeah, I used to have to give him a treat before I took him from the apartment because he's just sort of like very territorial again and needs to warm to you before he comes. I'll try and think of a few more while we're sat here, but yeah, lots of issues. I guess there was. Some of the dogs you just know weren't trained properly, so it was always a bit of a hassle, to be honest.
Throwing a towel over the dog sounds like what they do with crocodiles.
Oh, she did get me once, and she got me in between the in the little flap of skin in between the thumb and the index finger, and she was literally on that little bit of skin,
hanging on there,
and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Did it get better with her over time? Did she get used to? No.
Like, I don't know. I remember thinking because she wasn't my dog initially to pick up, and I was training with the previous driver, and I was like, "This can't be okay. Like, surely there's a better way of doing this." But because it's such a fast-paced job, you need to go around. I'm collecting 20 dogs at a time, so there's no time to sort of like sit in there, make her comfortable, and there's no time for that. You need to like quickly, get the dog, get him back to daycare.
But over time, she was always okay once she was out of the
apartment.
no,
she was. There was no. Once we had Justice and she was with you, and she's out the apartment, she's a different dog, and she's playful. She likes to play with the other dogs. She's got her friends. It's when you're in her space, and you're not her mum. Yeah, there's just no.
That sounds so magical to me because Makenzie would never forget. It's like, it doesn't really matter who you are. If you cross the line, you cross the line. She will never let you forget you crossed it. Differently wired personality.
Yeah.
And then with Titan, because Canicos, and he was just fine with you throwing him biscuit.
And then he was.
That's
fine.
it.
But I mean, when he first met me at the daycare, this is before I started picking him up. He gives you a few he launches at you a couple of times to tell you I'm the boss, but he doesn't actually bite or anything. He just launches, lets you know he's the alpha in the pack. Big boy. And we had this other sweet golden lab called Molly, and her mum was like, before you let her out into the daycare zone, please make sure there's no poo around because she will eat it. Oh. And I remember one day, the dogs arrived into the yard, and Molly just went round, and the yard hadn't been cleaned yet, and she just went around and found any poo she could find. And I remember, maybe half an hour later, she was being sick in the actual daycare itself of poo, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, Bowie used to be a poo eater actually as well when he was a puppy. I'm
Max
really glad
is doing that now.
Oh, really?
And I'm trying to figure out how to get him to stop because the issue is he's so small and it's winter over here, so it's pretty cold. And, immediately when I take him outside, he starts shaking and I feel bad for him. Even if I put a sweater on him or anything like that, he's still shaking. And so I'm just now doing the wee-wee pad training for him. So if I'm not home, I come home and I can see the little spot where the poop was, and it's gone. So he's eating it.
Yeah. How do you get Bowie to stop?
Oh, I think it was just puppy behavior. I think
they grow out of it. Yeah,
they grow out of it. Bowie.
That's fingers crossed.
Yes,
fingers crossed. Yeah, Bowie just obviously I told him no every time he did it, but he would just always poo, quickly turn around, eat it because he knows I get.
See, if I'm around, he doesn't eat it.
Oh no!
But it's when I'm not around when he's eating it.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's protesting against you being.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what his deal is. He's still hungry, I guess. So he figures he'll do round 2.
It looks like nuggets.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope you figure this one out.
What's Mackenzie's list? And I bet is it quite extensive?
Yeah, hers is. Well, we left her with Kasha once, the dog walker in London who walked more or less all of our dogs. She knows all of our dogs. But Kasha looked at me like, I'm not doing that.
Miss
Hi,
you.
Kasha. I love her. Really, she was the best. Makenzie learned so much with her, really. And then there is like what she eats, what she does, but mostly about, because I'm endlessly worried about how she reacts to other dogs. She doesn't like every dog. She's super friendly, to be very honest. So she approaches dogs in a different way, but she goes through communication so fast. She communicates with her ears, her face, and she's just so fast that a lot of dogs have issue reading her. She's like really quick. And when she's annoyed, she's like instantly annoyed and she instantly tells the other dog off, and then she doesn't back off. So if the other dogs is like, well, you're annoying as well, and then shows that sign of annoyance, she will just move forward. And then when you're not there to stop her, she doesn't really know how to stop herself properly in that moment, because she's very, I think she's very emotional. And she is surprisingly strong. She's 20 kg, so her teeth are pretty sharp. And
she's got big teeth too.
Yes. And she's quite a force, and for her, it's mind over matter. It doesn't really matter how small her body is compared to the other dog. She will always think she is the strongest one. So, and if you miss that moment where you can like distract her enough for her to move back and reassess the situation, you've lost, so to speak. And then to hold her back, that's like physically very, very difficult. So, and with Kasha, because she was just like a natural authority, she had this calm and direction. With Kasha, there was never a problem. Makenzie would just instantly follow her lead. It was lovely. That was really the best time.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember when Judge first started going with her, I was like, hey, don't let him off the leash because he's got poor recall. And then like the first day she came back, she's like, his recall's fine. I'm like, well, then I guess he just doesn't listen to me.
So ever since Kasha, my instructions changed because nobody else takes them. But have your instructions changed? I mean, obviously for you, Bruce, because you now have 2 more pets to add to that. But when you think about the beginning and the now, have they gotten shorter or longer?
So as I mentioned, we do a different food now. So it's actually easier. So it has gotten a little bit shorter. Plus, he's gotten older and more calm. So I don't worry as much with the possession aggression. Like he really has to want something to go get it now. So it's gotten a little bit shorter. But yeah, I mean, I'm still obviously I'm more so than the list. I'm just worried the whole time that I'm away. You know, That's really the bigger problem.
The constant photo updates.
Yeah, well, that was part of the plan. That was part of the instructions too. We want constant photos, and I need to see what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, mine just is like, if I drop Bo off somewhere now, it's like he's got 2 treat limit a day. I've left him with friends now. I leave him with like kin in Canary Wharf, and I'll drop him over, and he won't even look at whoever the apartment he's going into. He knows where the treat drawer is, and he goes straight to that drawer, and he just sits. Oh, Annika, you used to look after him. He just sits there and he stares at it until you give him a treat.
But he's very polite about it, so he doesn't howl, he doesn't bark, he just sits.
But he knows that because that's politeness is the way he gets what he wants.
Yeah, smart boy.
But he's put on a little bit of weight. We've got him down a little bit over the past month, but still a little bit more to lose.
How much is he now?
Much? Yeah.
What did he weigh? I think he's down 2 kilos. He was up there. What did he weigh when I went in there last time? I think he was like 4 kilos overweight. So, yeah. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Because he's about the same size as Judge. They were similar in size.
Yeah, probably about the same size as Judge.
Yeah,
a little bit bigger than Judge, I think.
A little bigger.
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
Because Judge was like a little over 10 kilos. And my vet was like, he definitely needs to lose weight because he's going to have to start going on. So like the heartworm medication, I don't know. They didn't really do it over in the UK. They do it here. It was like at 25 pounds. So I guess like 11, 12 kilos, they have to go to a different dosage. Yeah. So she's like, try to keep him under that so that we don't have to change the dosage. But I think he's under 10 kilos now. So that's good.
Oh yeah, Bowie's not under 10 kilos. I think he's something like, I think he's like 12 or 13. maybe. Yeah.
We went to what's it called, the physiotherapist, and we were discussing weight and muscle mass, and because she felt like she has lost a little weight, like from feeling her, but not like the actual kilograms. And then we were discussing, well, she built up muscle mass, she lost fat, and she built up muscle mass, and that weighs a lot as well. So in that direction we're going, it's a bit better. So I can recommend that to Bowie. Just exercise more, and then you can eat more. Same as humans. Do you realize the moment when you thought or you knew you were overdoing all of the instructions on your list, or that you would give away? Because I know I'm an overdoer. So I have spreadsheets, I have PowerPoints, I have everything. Like every situation is mapped out with different scenarios and all of that. But I just want to know, is everybody like that, or am I the only one?
No, definitely not the only one. I mean, I'm not as organized as you. So it's not like I had a spreadsheet or anything like that, but I just had handwritten instructions. And, like when I had the dog sitter, like trying to reassure me that everything was going to be okay, I knew I was probably going a little overboard. I was like, I think this person's more worried about me than anything else at this moment.
What was the thing that your pet center found the most difficult or weird thing?
I think it was the aggression, the possession aggression.
Still, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one that she was the most nervous about. And like I said, I just was like, make sure you don't like keep your bag, like your backpack, purse, whatever, like keep it closed. I overreact. I guess I was overly cautious because I wanted to implore that I didn't want him to get anything that he shouldn't have. Plus, also, I don't know what's in there, if it's something that's toxic to him. So I just know that he goes digging. He used to. He still does a little bit here and there, but he would go dig. He would actually go looking. Like if you put your purse on the couch and it's like not zipped, he'll stick his nose in there and he'll take a lipstick out or, whatever you got in there. That's probably really bad for him. So that was the thing. Again, that was the most. I think that was the part where she was like, a little like, okay, this guy's crazy.
Yeah. I just the first time I dropped Bowie off at a daycare, I just remember dropping him off, giving the food over, because he was only there for a day at this point. He's done sleepovers from then, but he screamed as I left. Like, wasn't a bark, it was a scream. It was like just a long single note scream. And I was like, oh, God. Like, I know he's good with other dogs. I know he's good with humans, so I had no worries there. But yeah, my thing was, I think half an hour after I left him, I started texting the daycare, and I was like, have you got any pictures? Have you got any pictures? And I think I texted him like 4 times throughout the day just to check that he was okay. But now, like, if I leave him, it's fine. I know he's okay. Like, he's in good hands. Like, at the end of the day, these people doing this job for a reason. They love dogs. But I think whoever looks after your dog, in your mind, like, they can't look after your dog as well as you can. That's the be all and end all, isn't it? Like, so you're always going to have a worry, no matter where your dog goes or who they go to. You're always going to have that gut feeling about, oh, I wonder if he's going to be okay. Like, it's just natural, isn't it? Yeah,
you give up all of the control over your dog's well-being if you leave them with someone else, no matter how well trained they are, how much the dog loves them. It's just really hard. Yeah.
It is hard, but yeah, I've got some trusted people now, and I know how chilled Bowie. Like, he used to be a little bit more chaotic when he was younger. He's 5 now. He's 5 now, isn't he? Same as
he's 5. Yeah.
Yeah, 5. So yeah, much more chill. Easier to manage. Well, he's always been easy to manage, but
yeah, he is.
Yeah, just need to give him a treat. But that's it.
But also, you did have time. 5 years is a long time to be together, to form like a proper bond, to really deepen the bond. And there is some. I just want to make sure that we point that out. There is research showing that the deeper the bond between the dog and the human, the more stress resistant is the dog. So even if they are in stress situations, they just know how to react better. They have lower cortisol levels. So it is super important to actually work on that bond. And I never understood that when we first got Makenzie, or even before. I felt like, what does your relationship really have to do with the dog going out into the world and reacting? But it is the single most important thing that you have to work on with your dog is the bond that you have. So that same with as a child, if a child trusts you, they trust you and you trust the child. It goes both ways, right? You need to trust your dog to make good decisions, even when you're not around. So I think when you're hovering and being this helicopter parent that I am, for example, I think, Bruce, you also raised your hand a bit about the helicopter parent, and
Yes.
you too. But I think we all need to, the instructions should help us also to just trust our dogs to make good decisions, because we prepared them well for these situations, even when we're not there to control everything. Makenzie had daycare in Seattle, where daycare was amazing. So you could watch them all day on Twitch. They had like camera feeds, their entire premises. You could just 3 different camera feeds and you could see her all day, which didn't help.
Amazing.
Yeah, I liked it so much.
Oh my God, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, so she was at daycare. I was at my screen all the time. It didn't really help me to get free time to get things done. And she is not a daycare personality. She did like the other dogs. She did like the people, but she was too stressed to eat, too stressed to rest. So she's just not a character that can really enjoy it as Bowie, for example. But in Germany, things are super different. So daycares is something that is very new. A pet sitter or a dog walker is something that is coming up more and more. And now I think with the world going back to the office, I think a lot of companies have asked people to return. These dog sitters, daycares are coming up more and more. If you, Ben, you have the experience. So, and Bruce, if you think about if your children were ever go to a daycare situation, what would you be on the lookout for? So what do you think would be important to pay attention to?
So he's been to daycare in the U.S. Yeah. Oh. We used to take him when we first got him, probably the first 2 or 3 years, he used to go routinely. We used a couple of different ones. They had cameras too. So we were able to watch him. I stopped taking him to the one because they kind of annoyed me. He has a bad leg. He's always had it, and he injures it every once in a while. But like they called, they said they didn't have my number. So I guess they called the vet because the vet ended up calling me and saying that they got a call from this daycare. And I'm like, they didn't like even try to ask them for like, oh, do you have Judge's father's number? So when I went to go pick him up like hours later, they're like, oh yeah, he hurt his leg earlier today. And I'm like, well, why didn't you call me? I would have come and like brought him. Like at that point, the vet was closed. I didn't know what the injury was. I didn't know how he got it. So I was a little annoyed about that. So I switched daycares after that. But I mean, the one issue that I've always had with daycare is they come back pretty dirty, and it's hard for them to keep it clean. I understand that. I don't blame them. It's, 40 plus dogs running around and all peeing and pooping. They can't keep up with it. But I always felt like I needed to give him a bath when he came home from daycare. So we tried to avoid it as much as possible, but he did go pretty routinely.
And he was fine with that, so he wasn't. How was he? Was he after daycare or the day?
He was usually tired. That was the best thing about it, was he would just pass it. Yeah, he definitely went. He went a lot, and there was one that offered like a grooming service after. So sometimes, like if it was raining out, I would definitely tell them just wash them, because that was one less.
I feel like that's something they should do anyway. I feel like that's something they should just before, if a dog's been picked up and dropped off, they should all, they should just give the dog a quick wash and a quick towel down. Like, it's not hard.
Yeah. Well, with Judge, he's so fluffy though. That's the problem. Like, I'm sure Bowie, like do you ever give Bowie a bath at home? Yeah.
Like Bowie, Bowie likes to roll in poo when he finds it. So he needs a bath every now and then. But yeah, like Bowie's fine with baths, and but he's never come home dirty from daycare before. He only goes to one specifically near mum and dad's, and personally, like I having worked in a big daycare with lots of dogs, maybe sometimes 60 to 100 at a time.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I wouldn't want Bowie to go somewhere like that, because it's just, they don't get the sort of attention they need, or the supervision they need, I should say. The one he goes to now, I think she takes 6 max, and she's usually got someone else there with her as well.
Yeah, that's more of like a personal.
More of like yeah. And it's like, but I wouldn't go to a big daycare anymore. He's never been to a big daycare like I used to work at, but I'd always opt in for a more a smaller pack.
You think it's fun for them to meet other dogs, just like people. You run around, you meet them, you play with them. But then I think a lot of us forget, because it's so convenient. Also, you have your free time and the dog is out of the way. But we forget that same as people, not every dog likes every dog.
That's the problem.
So that is the thing to think about, like larger daycare, smaller daycare. Then are you actually meeting friends? Are you meeting people you really don't want to spend the day with? What is the reaction? What is the mood? Are they feeling okay? Have they injured themselves? Are you having a bad day? So that is so many things to think about when you put dogs into this daycare situation, which is stressful, right? Even Mackenzie's Martha's Garden, which I really, really love, they had like a full schedule. So in the morning, you would drop them off until 8 o'clock. Then they had like adjustment time. Then at 10, they had sniff games. So every dog would be separated. They have their own sniff mat. Then 11 was like rest. So for an hour, they would dim everything down, ask the dogs to lay down, which Makenzie never did because she can't rest. And then they feed them individually. So you bring your own lunch, and then they take the dog out of the group to feed them so that they can eat in a more stress-free environment. But nevertheless, you would still hear the other dogs. So again, Makenzie didn't eat. Other dogs were fine because it was like, I would say, medium size, so 20, but they could separate the groups into 10. And they only accepted, I think every daycare does it now, after having assessed them. So you would come for a day or half a day, and they
meet and greet.
Yeah.
The meet and greet.
So to make sure that, again, for them, that there's no accidents or no fights or no situation that they cannot control.
I mean, we used to do that at the daycare I used to work at. We used to have a meet and greet. We used to get 3 different personality dogs. So if a dog used to come in and inquire about daycare, we used to have these 3 different personalities, see if the dog got on with them. But you can't always, even with that, like you can't always say something's not going to, bother a dog one day. I broke up numerous fights in the daycare because just you can't. They're unpredictable. They're still dogs.
Yeah,
which is like that's the worry, isn't it? I mean, I used to my pack used to be about, like I said, 20 dogs I used to take care of on my own. Alone. No, that used to be my pack. And I had Titus was the alpha of the whole daycare, so he could be a bit. He never actually got into fights, but he would tell people off and this and the other. But it's still, even dogs that used to play well together, sometimes. They could just suddenly switch and just be like, this is getting a bit too much, bit rough now. So
they're instinct driven, right? It depends on the situation, the energy that is going around in the room.
Exactly.
And that can instantly change, same as with children or people. I mean, have you ever broken up a bar fight after a football game? So it's the same thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I had one incident where I think there was every single dog turned on this one dog. Pack mentality, and just went for this one dog, and I had to pick this dog up and go into a caged area because it was just sort of like everyone just turned at one point, and I was like, wow, okay, I've never seen that before. So
does that daycare still exist?
I mean, I hope not.
It sounds like a very high energy.
It was so high energy.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I'm giving it a really bad.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't that.
It wasn't that.
Did they separate the dogs by size?
Yeah, so we had a small dog area. Small dog area upstairs, which the small dogs had free roam of, and then we did separate dogs into their own little sections. So the higher energy dogs had their own section, and then the sort of the medium energy had the bigger section because there was more of them. But it's still we had these incidents every now and then. I worked there for a year and a half, 2 years, and maybe 10, 12 incidents. But the incidents,
it's still a lot.
It's still a lot, but I mean, it's it wasn't every day, but it happens. But yeah, it was yeah, going back to it, that's why I leave Bowie with a more intimate pack now. And smaller dogs, because Bowie likes to think he's... I know I'm very, very confident Bowie would never try and bite or fight or anything, but he might try and be... He always wants to be the leader. Regardless of the dog size, he always wants to be the leader and this and the other. So I prefer him to be with dogs his size.
Until he met Makenzie.
Until he met
Mackenzie.
Makenzie.
A mystery to me.
Oh, they're boyfriend girlfriend. So
yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. Well, she has a lot of boyfriends. It seems. At least your boy as well.
Yeah.
Not many more, to be very fair.
Yeah.
Not many more. It's like very special boys she chose. But yeah, there's not much research around if daycares are good situations for dogs or not. But if you go back to the stress resistancy and then the stressful environment, I think if you're interested in discussing or finding out more about the daycare situation, just think about what does your dog really need? How do they thrive? What environment do they like? Where can they actually find rest, which I think is super important. If you give them away for a whole day or a couple of hours even, they need to be able to feel comfortable and rest in that situation, which I just wanted to share a thought. A friend of mine, she has a dog, and while walking the dog in the park, her dog is now 3 years old, and every day she's in the same park, so she made a lot of dog friends along the way, and they just got together as a group so that whenever somebody needs care for their dog, they just give the dog to their friends. So they walk every day together in the park. And then let's say I'm going out for an evening, or she goes out for an evening, she can drop off her dog at one of the friends. They have this WhatsApp group. I can't say WhatsApp group. And they run like a proper care for their own dogs. So nobody pays anyone anything. It's just like, tomorrow I need to go to the office. Can you take this dog? Can you take my dog? And then he's with his friend all day. And because it's a group of 5 dogs and they know all of these 5 homes, they are so comfortable. They stay sometimes overnight, sometimes just for a few hours. And I feel like if you can build up that friendship group where you take a dog or give your dog, that is because it's such a trusted environment. They play with each other. There's no new person. And they just basically feel at home in the other home. I wish I could build that for Makenzie again.
Yeah, we kind of had that back in...
Yeah, I feel like in London it was that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Dame, Dobby's moved now, so they're not in the area anymore.
Yeah.
Really?
Who was the... Oh, Mochi?
Oh, yeah, Mochi. Well, Mochi was too high energy for us, but Dobby was just perfect.
Yeah, but Mochi was good. Bowie played with specific dogs, and that was it. He played with Judge, Makenzie, Mochi, and Dobby, and that's it.
That's it. Oh,
that's it.
These are the best.
Yeah, but these are the ones. But now everyone's gone.
Dobby, if you hear us, you are the best little girl.
Yeah.
So we started already diving into the learnings from past experience, past mistakes. Is there anything, if you had to put together like a tip or a list of tips or tips you wanted to share with anyone looking for a pet sitter or daycare, what would you let them know or want them to know?
I mean, personally, I would say I would always prefer a smaller daycare rather than a larger daycare. It might not always be the case, but I'd want to vet it out properly myself beforehand. Pet sitters, I mean, I've used... what's that app called where you can... Rover, that's it. Yeah, I've used Rover a couple of times. I always make sure that they've got, lots of reviews and stuff before. I know that's maybe not... Should always give other people a chance and stuff, but when it's coming to your dog, you want to see that they've got like 5-star reviews, 5-star reviews, 5-star reviews. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'd always opt for a more intimate pack than a larger daycare.
So, I hope you never see this because it is a little embarrassing. But so we had a pet, our most recent pet sitter. When we got back to the house just smelled. And so I guess just she seemed like this sweet person, but I don't know. I don't know if it was cooking, if it was just how she smelled. But yeah, it was not pleasant to come home to. And on top of that, I think you want to get someone who's going to dedicate, like you're paying them for their time. So they should, I'm not saying never leave the house, but I know this person in particular was walking other dogs while she was like pet sitting hours. And so like she promised us that she was going to be back at a certain time to feed, Judge and Nipsey. And I knew for a fact, like she was like, oh, I'm on my way. And, I have cameras. So I knew when she got back, and it was like over, an hour and a half after I had asked her to feed them. And that's a big deal for them, because on top of it was like it was basically too late for them to eat. So I guess just, make sure you get like a reputable person, and, you want to definitely get, people to, vouch for them, because I did not have that. I just we needed something quickly, and I went with this person, and it was definitely a mistake. Never used them again.
The reputation is a big thing, because there was a guy that lived in Nostro Tower opposite in Sailmakers, and he'd only met me at this point. And he had I can't remember what his dog's name was, Charlie. Yeah. And I get a message from him one point at 11 o'clock coming midnight, because he's away. And he's like, is there any chance you can go knock on my door and check that my dog's okay? Because he got this pet sitter, and it was like a last minute thing. He found this pet sitter. She goes over, she stays. I'm not in the country. I can't go and check that Charlie's okay, because he said he texted this dog sitter at 8 a.m. saying, oh, how's the dog? And she was like, yeah, he's fine. Sent him a picture. And then there was no update from that for the whole day. And like he texted her numerous times throughout the day saying, how's Charlie doing? How's Charlie doing? Nothing.
Oh my God,
so
they probably went out for the day.
So I had to text a friend and say, can you go and knock on this door and just check everything's okay? And he went over there for me. And she finally answered the door after like 3 knocks. And said, "Oh, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb." Like,
yeah, but
what?
the door is not the phone.
Yeah, but that's why she hadn't messaged back the owner.
Yeah.
It's like her phone's on Do Not Disturb. Like, you don't put your phone on Do Not Disturb when you're looking
in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah, like you're looking after someone's dog. Like you need to. That's what I mean. You just need those constant updates, because
And I think people don't understand if they don't have their own dog. Or if they've never had their own dog, if they're just doing it as a job, I don't think people understand how attached like we are as their, I don't like to say owner, but as their
guardian,
pet parent, as their parent. I mean, that's because that's how I feel. That's what I am. Yeah. Like we're just so attached. There are children, and you wouldn't leave your child like with a stranger or, so, and
also,
if someone was watching your child
with someone in your home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In your home. Yeah, that's the kicker, isn't it? So,
and if your child was with someone, you'd want constant access to, conversations with them, whether it be like, oh, send me a picture, or how are they doing? Did they eat today? How are they feeling? All of a sudden they just go,
blank.
Blank. Yeah. Like dark is not good.
No, not good. So yeah, I like Bruce said, just get someone reputable. See if they've got good reviews. Do the research first before you just get a dog sitter willy nilly.
Yeah, that was our mistake.
Yeah,
I agree. I would also add, just make sure that you align on the level of care, because I know that as dog parents we can be a bit over the top, but you need somebody who understands your kind of thinking and your motivation towards putting all of that information into the instructions. So really somebody who values that for the aggression possession, you really give them hints like, don't do that, don't leave the bag on the couch, because he will go and dig, so that they really have like a full picture and they can understand and then make good decisions. Again, same as the dog, be able to get decisions, but set your sitter up for success in the sense that they can make good decisions. They have all the information they need. And that, I think, is something that I would really be looking out for. But again, don't have to, because she doesn't stay with anyone. So.
Well, now we have my in-laws. Like last night, we actually had Tatiana's company party. So my mother-in-law came to watch them. So that's much better than a stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is the perfect setting. Same as this friendship group. You just have a select group of people you trust, that the dogs know, that they consider family, and they can be in your home or in the other's home, and they just feel like, yeah, this is fine. I can really enjoy this little situation.
And he loves it. Like when my mother-in-law leaves, he's like barking as if like we were leaving.
Oh,
that's
good.
perfection.
Yeah.
So if your dog could really, or your like cat, 2 dogs, if they could write down notes, what do you think would be the most important part for them to just make sure to be on the notes?
Food, treats all day long.
Yep.
Food all day long. All you can eat buffet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prime steaks. He's pretty spoiled. Like on his birthday or special occasions, I'll get like filet mignon. I make him. So ribeye a little fatty, so I try not to do it. But I know he likes. Obviously dogs like anything that tastes good, and ribeyes taste good. So I'll make him that too. So I'm sure he would put in there. I get a filet mignon every night, freshly made.
I get duck breast. I remember the duck breast.
Yeah. That too. Yeah, he likes all that stuff.
Yeah, it's exactly the same with Bowie. Must be treated as and when I want. Must get first dibs on any toys.
Oh yeah, toys. Especially squeaky toys.
Yeah, if someone has something I want, give it to me.
That's obvious.
Yeah. I just remember the time he went to yours, Annika, and he just went straight to Mackenzie's toy box and put his head straight in and was picking everything out. Yeah. Until he found what he wanted.
And then he turned it over. And then
he turned it over. Turned it over every single toy.
Yeah, Judge would definitely want at least like a couple hours a day of playing fetch at the dog park. His list would be a lot different than my list for sure.
For Makenzie, it would be bake me a cake every day because she grew up. Her first home was right across the street from the Seattle Bakery, which is the most amazing dog bakery, not bakery. And every time we went to the dog park, which was right above the Seattle Bakery, she would just pass by, be greeted like a little queen she is, and be given a free piece of cake. Every single day. And to this day, like her favorite treat is cake. So that would definitely be the only thing on the list is bake me a cake.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely spoiled because you bake. See, I cook for him, but you bake for her. I'm not a big baker. Baking's too hard. You have to have your ingredients exact.
And patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'd rather just throw some steak in a pan.
Well, she's not that. She does like the meat, but even if I cook her chicken when she's not feeling well, every now and then I'm like, yeah, let's have some chicken. After the second or third bite, she's like, I don't like it anymore. It's nice, thank you, but she just turns away from everything freshly cooked. But from cake, she never turns away. So.
Yeah. See, Judge is a carnivore, total carnivore. I've never seen him stop eating meat. I have to stop giving it to him.
That's what I always think, like, when would Bowie stop? If I just gave him this endless amount of things, when would he stop? Because I've never seen him stop. I'm just
because I used to make him chicken breasts more often. Now I get I don't know if you guys, there's something like it, but over here it's called Farmer's Dog, and it's fresh cooked stuff I could see the carrots and the chickpeas in it, and so that's why it's not cheap. So I don't really cook for him much anymore because he eats that stuff and he likes it. Yeah, he likes it, and we want him to lose weight, and this is something that I've researched a little bit, and a lot of dogs when they go on it they do lose weight. So he did lose weight. That's how he lost his weight from what I mentioned earlier, and but yeah, I don't cook as much for him, but sometimes I would make him like a chicken breast and, I would just sit there and feed it to him. I can eat a whole chicken breast, but I'm probably 20 times his weight, 15 times his weight. And it's not easy for me to eat an entire chicken breast, like from, like a whole chicken. But him, it's like I'm feeding it, he's eating it. And I'm like, I have to stop because he's going to end up getting sick. So I don't know. I haven't found the bottom of the pit yet.
Okay, so on both of their lists definitely would be like never stop feeding me.
Never stop feeding me.
You would
Just
put like half
hook
a
up like a feeding tube with fresh chicken going in there.
That's funny. Okay, I guess that brings us to our close. So we do want to know and hear about all of your experiences. What is the most over-the-top thing you've ever put on your pet sitter list, or what would your dog add and delete from that list that you put on it? So I wanted to add a book tip, which is The 100 Silliest Things People Say About Dogs. It's a book by Alexandra Semyonova. I hope I did pronounce that correctly. She's an animal behaviorist known for challenging outdated beliefs about dominance and pack theories. I know we use these words quite frequently, but her take is really great on it. So she brings a modern, science-aware, and emotionally intelligent perspective to dog ownership. This book is honest, sharp, and valuable for anyone questioning common dog myths. Each chapter tackles a widely held belief, explains where it comes from, lays out the facts, and for those who want to dive deeper, includes scientific research that supports the discussion. For example, she explains how the pseudoscientific theory of dominance in dogs originated in Nazi ideology, which is really interesting. It's a really interesting read, and it's very short as well. So if you read it, drop us a message. We'd love to hear which silly thing made you pause and maybe change the way you listen to your dog. And then next time, if we all agree, I think it's time for us to go to the vet and discuss.
I have plenty of anecdotal stories about that. Our first year with Judge, I spent way too much money.
I think we're going to separate like going to the vet from the emergency, because I think we all had emergencies. So we do.
Yeah, but not, I mean, some of them weren't even emergencies.
Exactly, because I think we all have like a ton of anecdotes about just going to the vet for regular things.
Yeah.
And then we do like a whole emergency thing, because I think everybody has really experience with that as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, he had surgery at like, pretty early age on his leg.
Was that the luxating patella thing?
No, it was he had these little lumps. So when we had him neutered, they did a biopsy on them. So I have plenty of stuff to talk about when it comes to the vet.
Spoil it. Yeah, we do. There is it's going to be a very long episode next time. Okay, so thank you for tuning in and listening to us. We love talking about our dogs so much, and we hope you like listening to our many stories. This is Pawplexity, and you just listened to our episode, The Instructions We Leave for Our Pet Sitters. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much. And please clean up after your dog.